This knowledge creates impact in people's lives. I've seen it in myself, with people around me, and then my clients and my students, actually. People, it transforms lives.
Hello, everyone. Hello, BG5 community. We are inside the BG5 Foundation Program with our special guest and an interview with your instructor, Banu Çetin. And my name is Sarah McGowan. I'm the assistant director, and I have the pleasure of interviewing her today. Banu is such a gem, and I'm excited just to dive in. So, Banu, thank you so much for accepting this invitation and being here today. Could you just first share a little bit about yourself? And this is going to be a long question, but I really want to hear about what brought you to BG5. But then also, could you share a little bit about your background? Because I know you come from the corporate tech industry, and then you also have some new ventures with Alignment Key that I think our audience is really going to enjoy hearing.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me, Sarah. It's my pleasure to be with you and with our audience. Yeah, so I have been in my experimentation and implementing human design. It's been 10 years that I have found, but I come, as you said, from a corporate background. I spent 25 years in worldwide corporate companies in the tech industry, and in my latest capacity as a sales director managing multiple countries. And during that course of time, I found human design. And when I found it, I was drawn so much into it. I had to start, learning it somehow. I was so much drawn into it. And then as I got to read it, understand it, I said, okay, I better know more. So where's the school for this? And then I found the institute. I know the knowledge is so deep, but then I was thinking to myself, what can I bring into this knowledge from me as a person? What can I add? The knowledge is there and it's immense, but what can I add in terms of value to this? And that was my business background, because that's what I knew, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I chose to study with the institute many, many years ago. And then I got certified as a consultant. And as I was graduating at the institute, there was a session where it was mentioned that knowledge is getting more and more traction. There are more people who want to know about this. We may be looking for more instructors in the future, but this is going to be on an invitation basis. My life purpose is being a dedicated teacher, teaching the same thing over and over to bring transformation into people's lives. At that time, of course, I had found that out. And during that session, it gave me the chills. I'm like, maybe this is why I'm here. It's my path to fulfillment. And at that time, I had written to the Institute, and then I was invited to teach. So that's my background of how I started getting introduced to it. And then the time came, I was aligning more to myself, finding out what I want to do actually. And my passion is BG5. And I decided to check out of the corporate world as well. The time was right for me to do that. And for the last couple of years, I've been practicing as a consultant as well in our company as Alignment Key. We work with leaders, with companies. And BG5 is a big portion of how we apply, along with other coaching modalities. And now we have a new startup venture that is bringing BG5 into the business world through a combination with assessments. It's called the Career Path Key platform. And we're launching that with the BG5 consultants and professional coaches. Yeah.
It's
That was a long
amazing.
introduction, but I'm so
Yeah.
passionate about it. I've done a lot.
I think it's so good for people to hear the diverse backgrounds of our instructors. And I I see a lot of times certain students are drawn to you because of your, unique entrance into BG5 and your background, and you're able to share your perspectives in a very unique way. I really think it's great for our students. A lot of people, when they come to BG5 and they study, they maybe have a career or maybe they're not sure of what they're going to do next, but something feels like it's shifting. Did you ever picture yourself going down this path and leaving the corporate world?
Honestly, in the beginning, no. It was more on a journey of self-discovery and following where my energy was actually being drawn to. And getting invitations, of course, was important in my life. And I was invited to study this. And I was always drawn more and more, wanting to know more. My intuition always giving me a check. All right, this is what you like doing. But when I started studying, even with the institute and becoming a consultant, I didn't have this in mind that this is what I would do as my only work. I would leave the corporate world, step into this. But it helped me so much, Sarah. Even in the corporate world, I wouldn't have gone up the hierarchy or be the person that I am in the corporate world, rising up the ladder and everything, if I hadn't known my design and started applying it. So it really helped me in my own career. And then later, when I became a people manager, it really helped me manage my teams and the potential of the people that work with me uh, immensely. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm putting aside, the help with the family and my personal life, which is, of course,
Yeah.
an add-on, right?
And I think that's, important to point out, right? That, even if you're not going to become a coach or consultant, the foundation course can really impact your career, right? Living in alignment. And, even if you enter into a career following your decision-making strategy, if you're constantly being triggered and have your shadows popping up and you don't necessarily know how to deal with that, I could see that being really challenging in the longevity piece of the career.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So you start really looking at things and making the right decisions for yourself with confidence, which we get thrown away, right? From especially in modern societies, you're born and we're all thought we were here to go out and make it happen. You can do everything you want. Well, you can, but that comes at a cost, right? So then people don't like what they're doing. Sometimes it's really hard to go to work. There's the Monday syndrome, or they go to burnout because they're trying to do all that too much. But it is possible to do all of this with alignment, with fulfillment, with honoring yourself at the same time and still being successful. So I think the basics in the beginning, when I started discovering BG5, these were the things that were really feeding my passion because it really works, right? I tested
Yeah.
it, it works. What I learned, I could really apply. Yeah.
And this is a perfect segue into us just explaining more about what exactly is the BG5 Foundation Program. There's a lot of programs out there these days, accelerated programs, all online, self-study. What what's unique about our BG5 Foundation Program and what can students expect?
So first of all, the foundation, as with the name, is laying out a solid foundation to applying human design in business. And the fact that we hold our classes live and in cohorts has a great impact to the learning journey. If you self-study something, of course, you do learn a lot, right? And there's self-study integrated into our courses as well, right? Because we cannot spend all that time together. However, when you're in a cohort, it's not like you just understand yourself. We understand ourselves, but in that cohort, whoever is in that class, we also start to understand other people's designs firsthand with their experiments and their experiences shared in class. So we create an environment of co-learning and co-growing together and learning from each other. And that is really important. It really is. And then students also give each other feedback on things. Oh, did you notice this? Oh, I do see this. So there's a lot of learning and growing together when we do in the cohorts. It's very important, I think, to be able to do that. Plus, because we really study the business application of things. When we study the personal side of human design, maybe there's more focus on the not self, the deconditioning process. But because business, you got to continue doing things in business, creating impact, getting an output, and all that. So we concentrate more on how we can apply all this knowledge to more business settings slash life, right? You cannot separate your work life from your personal life, of course. Yeah. But we take a different approach in terms of what's there and really being able to apply it into your life in a way that serves business outcomes. And it's professionally prepared content as well. It helps students a lot in terms of preparation. And not everybody has to become a consultant, obviously. Some people just come to learn the basics from a well-known and approved content deliverer, let's say, or a school that's accredited as norm worldwide. And that also helps. And then sometimes they come back to study, so which also happens. And some people
Yeah.
just come in to be consultants, right? And then they're laying that foundation.
Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting. Like we have some people that come from the human design background and they want to add this certification. And so they want to go through the courses. We have other people that want to use BG5 in their business. Right. And then we have people that are just kind of in a turning point in their lives and, they keep having human design BG5 pop up and it kind of feels like a calling. Like the invitation is really clear. I need to do this. It doesn't stop popping up. And I think for those people, BG5 Foundation can be extremely transformative. And it's really transformative for everyone that comes through. Thank you for
Definitely.
speaking a little bit about the course and what students can expect. How do you go about teaching the course, right? Because the curriculum's the same, the knowledge is the same, the mechanics are the same, right? So we're teaching the BG5 system, that doesn't change. But I always say, and especially as a teacher, it's really important for students to pick their teacher, right? One that they feel a connection with, a resonance with. So what
Mhm.
can students expect from your type of learning environment and your teaching style in the course?
Yeah. I think for me, I really pay special attention to making it very practical with business examples around things that I have utilized this information with from business world or problems I have solved as I was in the corporate world. So I really try to make it as practical as possible because the knowledge you could read, right? Everybody can read slides, but then what do we do with that information is the important piece. How to really apply this. Where can we use this information in the business world? So that's where my classes concentrate on the more practical side of things. And when we come to Foundation 2, so the second semester, all my content is recorded. So we have a pre-recording. So the class content I pre-record, everybody watches it, and then we come to class for a discussion. So then everybody can ask their questions, they can give their examples, and we have a very rich discussion, which kind of makes it sink in. And along the way, our programs are not very fast paced because every time we learn something and then we discuss it in class, and then the students are invited to go apply or look for that in the world. How are they observing it in themselves, in those around them as well? So we're always making it more concrete as we go. Yeah. There's that experimentation piece that comes with the classes as well.
And that is definitely, as a student and mostly learning through recordings and then also learning through live interaction, it's really difficult to even compare the two because when you start speaking out loud, sharing, listening to others, looking at examples, I feel like it takes the knowledge to the next level because you're truly integrating it. And from a learner perspective, I do feel like it helps learners understand the material on such a deeper level.
Mhm.
So it's really great that you incorporate all of these different learning modalities because we do have different learning styles that come to the Institute, and there's really something for everyone. So that's great.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I have these 15-minute clarity calls that people can book with me, right? And anyone,
Mhm.
you're welcome to book those with me if you have any questions. And a lot of times people just want some reassurance, is this for me? Why do you feel this program would be so helpful in getting people the clarity that they need? And what advice would you give someone if they're a little bit nervous to start?
Yeah. So I think the number one, if it's appearing in your life and you're considering, that's happening for a reason, right? So we have to give it the importance that, if you're considering it, it's happening in your life for a reason, number one. And then I would invite everybody to listen to their inner calling in a way. We shouldn't make decisions with the mind. We study that a lot in our studies. It's not that the mind is not helpful. Of course, our brains are there and it differentiates us from the rest of the species out there. However, if we could really honor the inside feeling, our body intelligence in a way, then it's the right decision for us. And sometimes we might not be able to explain it logically or through words, right? So follow that inner knowing that whether this is right for you or not. What I find is that people are considering, can I do something with this? Can I allocate the time? But if your energy is being pulled into it already, there's a reason for that. So I would encourage everybody to follow and honor it. And in terms of having more clarity, of course, booking a session with you. And then I have a lot of people reach out to me as well. And I'm always open to having a short one-on-one so we get introduced. I can answer any questions that anybody has. So please feel free to send me an email. I can be reached at banu@bg5businessinstitute.com and banu@alignmentkey.com. So those are my email addresses. Just pop an email and we meet, right? And then for everyone, clarity is different. So when we talk, we can see whether it's right for you or not.
Thank you for sharing that. And I always like to say, I never want to, push a sale on someone. We're really here to help people. We're here to serve. And so please reach out to either Banu or myself, and we can help you get that clarity you need if that's what you need before you register. If you do want to sign up for the course, the link is going to be in the description, and the course starts January 20th with Banu. It's going to be on Tuesdays at 1500 UTC. That's 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hoping that that's a good time for everyone. And the early bird price ends January 13th. So you won't want to miss out on those savings. Once again, if you have any questions, reach out to us. And Banu, are there any final thoughts that you have for someone considering this journey?
Yeah, so if you are in the business world and you're drawn to this knowledge, I think the foundation program is a great place to start. It also helps you explore at your own pace and see if it's correct for you or not. As we said, not everybody might be here for being a consultant immediately, but this knowledge creates impact in people's lives. I've seen it in myself, with people around me, and then my clients and my students, actually, people, it transforms lives. So that's my invitation to all of you to start exploring, and feel free to have a one-on-one as well to see if it's correct for you or not.
Thank you for those final thoughts. And we hope that from this interview that you got to know Banu a little bit better and the foundation course to explore if it's right for you. And if you do decide to sign up, we're really excited to see you in class and help you live a life in alignment with who your true self is and understand yourself and others. It's a very powerful tool that you can always have with you, and we're excited to support you on your journey. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.